Hello, everybody. If anybody shows up, that is. Tonight is 11/4/2023, and just another night here at the shack doing some testing on some machines, and figured I'd bring you guys along. Been out of the shop for a few days and nursing myself back to health. Legs giving me a few fits, but I have figured out that moving is better than sitting still with this leg thing I got going on. So, been out here doing a little bit of moving today, checking out a new machine. Got it over there right now, running some tests, and thought I'd come hang out with you guys. Be honest with you, didn't have anybody to talk to out here. Getting a little bored, so chime in. Let me know who all's here. I'm gonna go check my progress over here. Guys, I think it got a little hot. Yes, sir, that got hot. Hang on, let me get something to clean this up with. How's it going, everybody? Hello. Let's see who we got here. Eddie Guzman, Sunday morning from Japan. Whoa. Wow. Yeah, that's like time travel. Uh, what's up, Aaron? Gillette, man. I haven't seen you in a minute. How you been? Tim Turner from Arkansas. Johnny. I'm gonna go with Johnny from Texas. How are you? Marcus, how's it going, fella? Joe, JD, Chuck, Kai, how are you? And of course, Miss Sharon. Yeah, it was a little bent before I started this, guys. If I can, but this is stainless steel, and this machine's actually, it's it's really marking stainless nice. I took this machine because it was just, with Christmas coming around, and a lot of people ask me about different machines, like different budgets. This is one of the more economical machines that's on the market that I've seen, and I thought since I was going to be kind of limited for a few days and maybe have another week off of work that I'd, give me something to do. So let me go turn this air assist off. It's a little loud. Oh, I got my dust collector on. Let me go turn it off. That ought to make it a lot quieter in here. Maybe y'all can hear me now a little better. Kai, the back's been my back's actually been pretty good through the whole thing. To be honest with you, the back was where my problem was, but the pain that I was experiencing was actually in my leg down into my foot. That's they fixed the back, they fixed the problem, but the way they explained it to me, that nerve was pinched and kind of took a little damage from the whole, disc exploding thing. And they say that it may take minimum a month for all the pain to leave my leg. Worst case, I may have some of it from now on. But it's at a manageable level today. I had a couple of days been sitting in the chair. It was really bothering me, but I think I have realized that the more, because like in the mornings when I first wake up, man, it hurts. Like it hurts. But I think I've realized that the best way to approach it is just to push and power through. And once it gets loosened up, it seems to be doing pretty good. So that's the approach I'm going to take. My paperwork says to let the pain dictate how much I walk and all that. So, you know, the days that I sit in the chair and try to nurse it, it hurts worse than it does the days that I actually get out and try to walk and stuff. So, yeah, yeah, Johnny, Johnny. I don't know if that's right or not, but yeah, that I'm gonna tell you, I never realized how bad nerve pain was until this, and I got all the respect in the world for anybody that's lived through that. That was terrible. But yeah, this Elegoo machine's actually doing a really good job. it actually etched to stainless steel. Like I can scratch it and it's recessed, which is just crazy. So I grabbed a piece of metal, which I've tested it a lot, and it's gotten way too hot, but it done a really good job. I've even got some blues and stuff out of it, but this is really thin, so uh, but but it did do a pretty good job of coloring it. And that's all I really wanted to do was be able to see what it's capable of. I'm gonna throw that into my test materials, but I've been running all kinds of tests on this machine. Uh, but it's made by Elegoo, and I've seen some of their 3D printers, but I'd never tried one of their lasers. And the company sent me an email wanting to know if I wanted to try one. And at first I was kind of like, ah. But then, like I said, I told them if they could get it to me, I'd go ahead and do it since, I had a lot of off time. Now, I was expecting maybe to be able to do a little more during my off time, so I'm actually got myself a little behind now. But we'll see. We'll get there. Yeah. Well, luckily out here, I've gotten pretty proficient with sliding places in the chair because I've been down for a while. So I don't do as much walking, but I do enough, it seems, to kind of keep things limbered up, keep it working. So it hadn't been too bad. And I've got 10 or 15 stove covers I've got to do this weekend. Tomorrow I'm going to hopefully get I'm hopefully going to get four stove covers done tomorrow. I got to finish the video for the Elegoo that I've got over here. And then I've got a new atom stack that they just came out with that's over there. It's not anything that's going to blow your socks off as far as the power output, nothing like that, but it's kind of a compact version of the A20. It's a A24 is what they're calling it. And I'm trying to get some machines together for like coming up on Christmas. If somebody, maybe you've got a machine and you just kind of want another machine to kind of back up your operation with, trying to go through some cheaper machines, because some of the machines like the S1, you kind of got to be serious about laser engraving to go buy one of those guys. But these are what I would consider to be introductory machines. Does a good job, has everything that you need to be creative and make things, but not quite the price tag of some of the other machines that I run in the shop. So that's what y'all can look forward to, hopefully, in the next few weeks. And then next month, hopefully, I'm gonna get my Christmas stuff crunk up and start getting some projects to share with you guys to do. And if you haven't checked my Facebook page out, guys, May's having her open house event, and let me look, make sure I get the dates right. But she's asked me to be there. I don't know in what capacity I'm going to be there, because my portable setup is a little heavy, and if the doctor still has me on restriction, I may not be using it, but I will be there to meet folks and say hey and all that good stuff. So let me see what that date is. Whew, my channel done got a little busy here. It's going to be November the 10th and 11th, right here in Chilton County, Clanton, Alabama, at May's business. So you can go to my Facebook page and check that out, or I can drop a link for it. I think I can drop a link for it. But if you're going to be in the area, feel free to stop by, say hey. There it is right there. Yeah, Johnny, I'm trying to. I really wish I knew if I was getting that right or not. I'm going to keep going with Johnny, because I think that's what it looks like Johnny. I'm not sure, but I think that's where I'm at now, is I'm trying to find that balance. I think I overdid it a little bit Halloween, because I got to feeling pretty good, and I went into town and went to one of the events downtown, and walked around with my daughter, and I think maybe I walked a little more than I should have, because the next morning I had a little more pain than I had been having. So I took it easy for a couple of days, and now I'm back out here. But yeah, so that's the Elegoo. Oh, and I got another video I got to do on this blue guy right here. I got to get that one put together sometime in the next few days as well. So, okay. Johnny. Okay. Yeah, we'll just go with Johnny. That's close enough. Clicked on the video even though it said Friday night. Is it not Friday night? Is it Saturday night? It's guys. I've lost track of my days. It's Saturday, ain't it? Let me fix that. Oh, I done lost track. I done lost my days, guys. Yeah, last night was Friday night. Oh my goodness. Y'all can tell. Y'all can tell I've been off way too long. Golly, how did I do that? See what was? Why did I think today was? I don't know. I don't know why I thought today was Friday. Oh, yeah, y'all got me on that one. My bad. I'll see if I can't fix it best I can. Let me. Oh, that's terrible, man. I tell you what, I would blame it on medication, but I'm not medicated anymore, so that's not it. It's just I just had a blonde moment. What can I say? Don't tell my wife I said I had a blonde moment, though, please. She might take offense to it. Yeah, I sure did put out. Why in the world did I put Friday night? Let's change that, guys, right quick. Let me see if I can't. Let's see if we can do a little damage control on this. That's terrible. I know what it is. The thumbnail already had Friday night, and I just went with it. That's what it is. So I'm just gonna repurpose it a little bit. But hey, whatever. Y'all got me. I can promise you one thing. That will not be the first. That will not be the last mistake I ever make. Which machine you talking about, Kai? You talking about the Elegoo? Give me just a second. I'm trying to do damage control on this. on this day that I lost. See, now it makes sense why Johnny was saying it was Sunday there, because I should have caught it then, guys. But yeah, I would say it was the medication's fault, but I haven't taken anything but Advil today, so it's not going to be that. But I am going to change. I am going to change this thumbnail right quick on YouTube, and I'm going to change the title of the video. Oh my goodness! But it is good to be semi back. Let's put it that way. Even though my head's not in the game completely, at least I'm kind of here. Yeah, B8. That's I'm afraid my S1's gonna be the next one on the hit list. Kyle, are you talking about the Elegoo machine? It's a very basic machine, but so far it's doing a good job. Let me see if I can find it. It's got a weird name. They named it like Elegoo Ficta or something like that. But yeah. But it's the machine that I'm testing tonight, guys. I thought it did, but it doesn't have limit switches. That's kind of only one. That's one hang up that some folks may have with it if you're used to laser engraving. Yeah, I'm trying to do damage control on my end, and it he won't let me. Let me see if I can do it. See if I can fix it all. But alrighty, let me fix that one. As long as I don't lose y'all guys, I can. Looks like I'm gonna be able to fix most of my mess up here. Let's see. Trying to do damage control, so not everybody else in the free world thinks I'm a blooming idiot. Oh, I can't edit it. I can't edit the one on Twitter. So Twitter's just done. Yeah, I don't know how they pronounce it. Elegoo. Elego. Y'all know that pronouncing some of these words ain't exactly my strong suit. Yeah, Aaron. Like I said, there's only one thing that I can't promise you guys I won't ever make another mistake, but I can promise you that I will. I definitely will make another mistake if you watch my channel long enough. You'll catch me in one. I make a couple a day usually. Most of them aren't quite this obvious to everybody, but but y'all got me on that one. I'm gonna have to get me a calendar that says what day of the week it is, I guess, and put out here. Because I've been off, guys, I've been off work now for 5 weeks, which I have never done in my entire life. But I had no choice. 3 weeks of it, I wish I could just go back and have those 3 weeks back because I wasted those laying into bed. Uh, Felt like I was dying. So, but let's see. I think I got everything straightened up. So it looks like it's good on YouTube. We got it renamed on YouTube. I think I fixed everything except for Twitter, and I'm really not worried about Twitter. Laser heads on a We Create machine. I haven't done a video on that yet. I am going to be doing. I got that one on the list too. I got to do another video with it. I was going to do some tumblers. I've got a few spare tumblers up there. Guess we could probably work that in then. It's sitting over there, but I don't want to have to power it up and lift it and all that. I got it in transport mode right now. But JD, I could try to come up with one. I've used it enough. It probably needs a little cleaning, but I run air assist with it, so hopefully it's not too dirty. Hopefully it's holding up pretty well. It's kind of like the X tool. X tool says that in the book it says clean it every 30 minutes. I ran the thing for like 4 hours before I cleaned it, and it really wasn't dirty because I run air assist all the time. But I think that's kind of like these oil companies tell you to change your oil every 3,000 miles when in reality the oil will last like 6 or 7. I think it's just an overkill on their part. That way, if you have a problem, they'll be like, well, we told you to clean it after 30 minutes, which is hard to do when a lot of your jobs are going to last, an hour, 2 hours. So I'm doing some testing to see exactly how long I can run it without it getting dirty on me. And so far, I've had to clean it once. And I did get the riser for the S1. Hang on. Be right back. This is my S1 wagon cart. I have the riser kit now, so I can actually, whereas before I couldn't do 3/4 inch material, I couldn't do a lot of my cutting boards and stuff because they were too thick. Without the riser kit, I was limited to just under 3/4 of an inch of material. With the riser, you can actually take the crumb tray out and move it up or down and then replace the honeycomb. So that is a big help. I'm supposed to have the, let me roll it back over here out of the way. I'm supposed to have the, was it RA2? Supposed to have the RA2 coming. So I'm going to kind of hang on before I do too many more videos with the S1. Of course, I got to get caught up on some of this other stuff. But once the Chuck gets here for the R8 for the S1, we'll try to test that out, see how well that works with, now that I've got the lift kit. Got like a 6-inch lift on it now, so it should be doing better. What's up, Jack? How are you, fella? You out there making something? But yeah, this is not a terrible machine, guys. I'm gonna have to look at the links that the company actually sent me. I think they sent me like a discount coupon for it or whatever. But you will have to run it from current position. So it's gonna be kind of like the old school days of the X Tool D1 when it first came out, without having limit switches and stuff. But like I said, the one they sent me came with the roller. It came with the honeycomb, the machine, and everything all in a box. So. No, JD, the We Create comes with everything. I mean, literally, it comes with everything. You can go back and look at my videos that I have. It's Basically, that as long as that work area size is doable for what you plan on doing with it, it's a 20-watt diode laser with everything you need in the package with the machine. Uh, the machine, there's like no assembly required really. You plug the wires into the back of it, the cables. You take the grates out, put the grates in the bottom of it. You can literally, from the time you open the box, I mean, if you're pretty quick with software installation and you don't have a whole lot of downloads, I mean, you could be making smoke within 30 minutes of getting it. That's opening the box, getting everything out of the box, making sure you get all of the securing foam and tape and stuff out of the inside. It's it's a good machine as long as that work area is suitable for what you plan on doing with it. If you're somebody that plans on doing like say earrings and just small things like Christmas ornaments, uh, let's see, keychains, maybe some small little designs and stuff like that, it's a good machine. Tumblers, it appears to tumblers would probably be one of the places where I think it would excel because the setup to be able to set the tumblers up, the software, the way the software works, it's pretty fluid. It reminds me of LaserBox Basic back in the day with the X Tool D1 as far as the way it works with tumblers. So it's relatively easy. The camera makes it a lot easier to visualize how things are going to look in the workspace. I haven't played with mine in about a week, so I don't know if they pushed out any updates or not. Before I do my next video, of course, I'll be checking for firmware updates and software updates and all that. But it's a good machine if you're in a position where you want something like I've got it on a rolling cart because I've had my back's been messed up, so I can't be lugging these machines around. But it's on a rolling cart, and I can roll that thing over here, connect it to a hose that goes outside, and I can go ahead and start making things. There's not a lot of setup. It's contained in its own enclosure, so if you don't want to have to build an enclosure, or if you don't have the space or the tools to build an enclosure, it fits a portion of the laser engraving community, in my opinion. If you don't want to have a big box like this one, or like I have over here, or if you don't want to, spend the money to get the S1, or don't need that big of a work area. But so far, it's performed well. I mean, for a 20-watt machine, it packs a pretty good little punch. I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't do glass. Now, as with any diode laser, you're going to have to use marking spray or some method of causing it to frost the glass. It does a really good job on tumblers, and for the most part, glass and tumblers, the power and settings and the methodology is basically the same. I haven't done a whole lot of glass on it. I guess I could pick up some cheap wine glasses or something to test with it. But the one thing I will say when doing glass is you kind of want to be out of focus a little bit to avoid chipping the glass too deep. You don't want to over chip the glass because one, it'll make it break easy, and two, it can make it really really rough, and you actually get little cuts if you're not careful. If you go too coarse with glass, you want to just do just enough to glass to where you can notice it. Mirrors are easy. You can fly and do mirrors. But yeah, it comes with that. It's actually got a pretty decent little air assist pump. It's very similar to the Algo, the X Tool, Comgrow. It's that same little compressor like pump, and it works pretty well. Order for 3 wooden name tags. Then cut names again. Wow. That's a lot of work for name tags, Jack. I just did, May ordered, I think it was 96. It was 96 stocking shaped name tags. And I used the little peel and stick magnetic backs for them. So I don't have to cut anything with the, with a plasma. So, but yeah, I cut all of them out of the Luan that I use. And, I just, matter of fact, she just used those at her Craft Acropolis event that she had a couple weeks ago, and they loved them. I went by and visited with them while they were in town. I actually had to sign a couple of them, which is weird, but it's fun. I got to meet some interesting people. They do a lot of paper crafting. I don't do a lot of paper crafting. What's up, Robert? Hello. How are you, sir? But yeah, guys, that's not what's going on here. The new Atom stack they sent me. I think they sent me Steve's because the Atom stack that I got's got some pink on it, and I don't usually do pink, but so I'm thinking maybe they sent me Steve's, and Steve may have got mine because mine should have like silver or black, but this one's got pink on it, so I think it's supposed to be red, but it looks pink. It just may be that I'm partially colorblind. Well, Sharon, you better get back to it if you're going to be doing a craft show. I don't have it. Like I said, I've got May's event coming up, but usually there I don't carry a whole lot of already made stuff with me. I usually just make stuff there. Oh, thank you, Chris. I actually didn't make this one. This is a friend of mine over at the Phoenix Gallery does these. She actually hand painted this to make it look like wood grain, and put the logo on there and all that good stuff. She's got skills I don't got. She actually paints these, and then once she gets them painted like she wants them, she epoxies them. So it's pretty cool. Oh, so you understand the paper crafting lingo. See, May gets me with that all the time because she starts throwing these words out there that I don't know when it comes to the paper crafting. And then some of her people will call me and be like, "Hey, can you cut whatever? It's basically really heavy, like scrapbook stock or whatever." And they start throwing those words at me, and I'm like, "I don't know. What is it?" So I spend a lot of time Googling things. But yeah, I don't really get into a lot of the paper stuff. I stick with mostly wood. I have been experimenting with some pretty cool stuff here. And this is something I picked up, and I was going to do a video with it, and I just haven't got around to it, guys, because I've been all broke down. But I found some acrylic that you can actually engrave with a diode, and it engraves. It's two different colors. So the surface is colored, and then underneath it is white. But unlike most white acrylics that you can't cut with a diode really well, it actually cuts pretty well. So I did this with it. I got a sign on my door warning people that there's a laser in use. But it comes in all these different colors, and I've been playing around with it. Just seeing what I can make. I need to make a few more. This is the one I cut the sign from my door out of. But it's got all different shades of colors. And I'll show you this one here. This is one that I did a test burn on. So it engraves white. So when you engrave it, it engraves white, and then there's my cut test, of course. But I've been doing that with diode machines. Up, Steve. I got mad because you wouldn't bring me none of that food you's cooking over there, so I figured I'd go live for a few minutes. Then I got to go inside because my wife cooked me something since you wouldn't bring me no food. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing a video on this stuff. It's like I said, it's pretty cool. It's black acrylic, but it's not. It's actually white acrylic. So if you're trying to do, I think it will make some pretty cool, like Christmas decorations, Christmas ornaments, and stuff like that. And I did this on the algo, on the purple, just to see, because I honestly didn't think the purple was going to work, but it turned out really, really nice. I like it. I like the way it engraves. It's actually pretty clean. I figured it'd be kind of nasty on the lasers, but so far it's turned out to be pretty clean on them. So, yeah, Eddie, it's kind of the same basic principle. When you run your speed and power test, you've got to run just enough power to knock the color layer off and dig into the white, and then stink bug. It's getting cold around here. Stink bugs are working their way into the shack, guys. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Got it on Amazon. Like I said, hopefully sometime in the next week or so, I can get the video finished. I've been doing a little bit of it uh, along the way, but I got a long way to go because I want to test it with a couple different machines to see how it does. Mostly, I've been using the Algo because with this, it is actually ABS instead of acrylic. So I'm using this machine just to make sure that it's vented real good. It's laserable material, supposed to be safe, but as always, I still like to take precautions that I'm putting it in the enclosure, make sure I vent it real well. Uh, wait till I hear it. I missed something. I have missed something. Well, I have discussed that, and some of there's a possibility of that, but there's a lot of legalities that go into that kind of thing. I do give them away at some of the local events. Matter of fact, I gave away was it the Whiz Maker at the last meet and greet that I went to. Had a couple from Flomaton, Alabama, won the machine at the drawing at the last event that I was at. So I donate a lot of them to schools. I've actually got another school that's wanting a machine to use with in their ag shop to let the kids when they make a project or whatever be able to personalize it. I've already donated like 4 machines to the STEM program, which is where they teach the kids about robotics, how to build robots and work with them, and they use the machines to do different jobs, cut circuit boards and stuff like that with. So I try to give back to the schools a lot locally, and then of course I have my Clack Shack mentor program for some of my local folks like Decline and a few of my other friends and neighbors that want to help me out. Matter of fact, I sent Klein some jobs today because people keep calling me wanting me to do stuff, and I am backed up probably until Christmas already. So that's just the way it's working out right now. But all in all, I think I'm gonna be able to get caught up. Hopefully, the stove cover thing is gotten a little crazy. I've got orders on hold from back September the 26th, so I've got to get that knocked at least until the 1st of October. Get that knocked down, and yeah, Eddie. They have here locally. It's basically like I wouldn't call it a trade. Well, I guess it is a trade school. It's an alternative for kids that don't want to necessarily go to college, that want to learn a trade, and they teach them, how to program machines and do a lot of the open source type stuff, whether it be 3D printers. They build little small robots. They actually built a balloon a couple of years ago and got the permits and sent the thing up as like basically sent it up into space, and then the balloon popped and it fell back to Earth, and they had a GPS tracker on it. They do all kinds of cool stuff, and I know several of the teachers up there, and so here recently I talked to him, and like I said, that's where a lot of my extra stuff went, because every time they send me a machine, they also send me the glasses, the safety glasses with the machine. So I had like 20 pair of safety glasses, a couple of enclosures, and like 3 or 4 machines that I took up there. So no, Jack, that one actually fell here in Alabama. They didn't they I guess landed it before it got out of Alabama. They were tracking it on GPS all the way up until it released and came back down, and they tracked it and went and recovered it. They actually, the teacher was showing me the other day the module that they built. It's basically like a big styrofoam cooler type thing with a camera in it and all that. It was kind of neat. Chris, Coffee County, is that north? I think that's north of me, isn't it? You're up in North Alabama, I believe, or am I wrong? Geography is not my strong suit either. But but yeah, they but yeah, it's a cool program. Is it South Alabama? Why was I thinking Coffee County was up north? Maybe I'm thinking Colbert County is up north. But but yeah, and like I said, the teacher here at the school that my daughter goes to, I've talked to Enterprise. Okay, now I know where Enterprise is. If you just said Enterprise to start with, I know where you're talking about. But the school here where my daughter goes, I've talked to the ag teacher there because she's in ag now, and he said that he would love to have one to add to the class to be able to use, but they're going to require some training. So probably what I'll wind up doing is find a machine that's suitable for their needs, and then get with him and maybe have a day to go down and show them how to work it and be able to do stuff with it. But still waiting for that to get something in inventory that can go that's suitable. What's up there, Oak Island, North Carolina? What's up, Chris? How are you, sir? Just hanging out, shooting the breeze right now. I've about wrapped up my testing. I do need to do some anodized on that thing. Let me do that right quick while we're talking. If you can't do black anodized, we got a problem. Give it a little bit of air assist so as to not get my lens dirty. And then, of course, guys, I have speed tests for everything under the sun. Let's see, where's anodized? Anodized card. There we go. So that's what I'm going to be running right there on that card. So let me make sure it frames right. It should. Yep. We are green to go. All right, let me get my screen back up. I've lost you guys. There you are. But yeah, so that's that machine's kind of hard to tell if it's doing anything because the module is encased. It's got that little air cleaner box on top of it that's supposed to suck up all the smoke. And I'm officially the only person in my family. My wife can design in light burn. She knows. Somebody asking about cover lenses. I missed that. Oh, you talking about you talking about that machine? If I mess the lens up, yeah. You just try to make a quick sale, Steve. But my wife knows how to use light burn. She's been practicing and everything. But yeah, none of my kids, they don't get into it. My oldest daughter, she works and does her thing, and my youngest one plays in the band and does video games and homework. That's about it. Well, I'm glad you've checked, Steve. That way, if I do mess the lens up, we'll know. I haven't taken mine apart to see yet, but I have been running air assist, so you ain't getting any money out of me this week. It didn't come with any extra lenses. Chris, basically, let me jump back over to my screen. Oh, basically what this does is you create these tests in Lightburn, and I've got a video that walks you through the whole thing. But this is a variable on the power side of things, and this is a variable on the speed. And the purpose of it is to, when you run the power and speed test, the purpose is to find the perfect power for whatever you are trying to accomplish. Like these are my cut tests that I've done with the machine, and basically you're going to have the speed and the power, and you just look for that sweet spot. Now, I usually try to come down a little bit because you don't want to be cutting everything on the fastest it can go. Because if you run into a knot or if you run into a hard spot or something like that, then you're going to have a fail. So I try to drop down. Like with this machine, I've been running at about 6 millimeters a second. It'll cut it 7 up to 8. But if I hit one of those little hard pockets, sometimes I'll get a snag. So I've been running at about 6 just to make sure everything drops. And you do the same thing. Like this is a 1/8 inch material all the way up to 20 millimeters a second, clean drops. And then of course you would do engraving as well. And then you keep these for reference for your materials and your machine. You just cut these guys out and stick them somewhere. And when you if you're engraving something, you just kind of look on here and find the color that you want the image to look like. And then once you find the color, then you just kind of reference power and speed, input that into your software, and that's how you get the look that you want. Now, I will say this, and Steve can back me up on this. It's a good idea to run these tests multiple times, even if it's the same material. Run it with the grain running that way, the grain running this way. There's a lot of variables that you need to take into consideration. You could even do, if this is your only machine, you can raise the focus up a millimeter, raise the focus up 1.5 millimeters, stuff like that. There's a lot of different tests that you can do. Most of the time with these machines, I can just about tell you by looking at the spot size that they advertise and the output, I can pick a pretty good setting to get pretty good results. But there's always going to be that machine that surprises you. Some of these machines, like this one, surprised me on stainless. I couldn't believe it actually etched stainless. So. No, I don't get these from Nextool. These are from Amazon. I'll drop you a link. Hang on. You know how we are. Me and Steve like dropping you links. I'll drop you a link in a heartbeat, guys. But no, I get these from Amazon. I got those for the diode. I got those for the fiber, and I got these for the fiber. So, yeah. I need to get a pair like Steve's got that I can wear one pair with every machine, but I cannot wear those big Buddy Holly looking ones. But I can't find a pair that I like the look of. Hang on, let me see if I can find my glasses here. If you go to my Amazon shop, I've got them listed in there. But, oh, here they are, right here. OD6. This is them right here. Alright, let me get back down here where y'all are at. This is the glasses that I'm wearing right here. OD6. These are made for the diode laser range, 450 nanometers. So, yeah, luckily I don't have to have glasses yet. They do make these. I think Steve's got a set of them. They do make these that are oversized so that you can wear them over prescription glasses if you need. But when you go look at, if you pull those up, you should have like other recommended products or whatever. And there's another pair of them that are oversized specifically for folks to wear, with their prescription lenses or whatever. Luckily, I don't have that. Here they are. There they are. These are the oversized ones. And I think Steve wears these. Or if he don't wear this particular set, he wears ones really close. These actually go... These claim that they will actually cover the 1064 spectrum. So if you're if you've got a diode that comes with, and you've also got the 1064 laser module for it, those that I just dropped claim to be from 190 nanometers to 550 and from 800 to 1100 nanometers, which would mean they would work for both fiber and diodes. And someday I may get me a pair of those. I like these. These are comfortable, and that's what I'm wearing. I just got a different color. Yeah, there you go. You can check. Steve dropped a link to my Amazon shop there. There's a lot of recommended products. And guys, I'm not just recommending things that I haven't tried. Anything that's in there, I have tried it and it works. But yeah, so some of my other little tests that I do with the machines. This is to make sure that I didn't mess up. This just tests to see if the X and Y axis is consistent. If you start running this test and the lines start touching, you got a problem. You're always going to have, I've never run a machine that was exactly perfect doing this, except for, of course, a Galvo. Galvos typically will nail this, but it's a little different ball game. But this is some of the projects that I've run on this machine today. I haven't sanded anything. The little bass. Of course, I got my 2A refrigerator magnet. And the reason I do a lot of these things, guys, like this bass and my little 2A refrigerator magnet, the reason I do these for test pieces is because I can actually sand these down, put a magnet on the back of them, and stick a $5 sales tag on them when I go to an event and sell them. So when I'm testing these lasers, I'm not necessarily just wasting material. So now this is wasted. Nobody's going to pay me $5 for this. But then I did a little flag with an eagle on it there, and of course, life's better in the country. But all of these are little and then Clack Shack 1984, baby. All these are little projects that I've did with this machine today, playing around, testing it out. 250. I guarantee you, I get $5 for these all day long. I probably could get more, but I don't need to be. Ain't no need to be greedy. But Steve, I did a speed test, did a speed and power test on this piece of stainless. It got a little hot, but it marked it, and I mean it marked it. I'm gonna get that big, thick plate of metal I got out and try it. Whew. All right, any more questions, comments, or concerns? Let me check on the speed test. Yep, bottom half of that was too hot. I figured it would be. But it'll give me a good baseline. So what's everybody else up to? I know Steve's over there feeding his face, or was. He took a picture of, I'm not sure exactly what kind of meat it was that he was eating, but it looked like something off the grill. It looked pretty good. And I tried to get him to bring me a piece of it over here, but he said it'd be cold by the time he drove it down. So, uh-oh, I got a comment. Oh, that's something else. Elk? I don't know if it was elk or not. It could have been reindeer. He's up there near North Pole. All right, let me get something to clean this up. See, this is the purpose of doing a speed test right here. So, now this one was just my generic speed test just to get me in the ballpark, right? What do we rag? So I figured, because I've got one test that I do on anodized aluminum, and these cards are really thin, so I figured the bottom half of it was going to be a little hot. But typically the bottom will curl up and it won't affect the top of the burn. So that's what I wound up getting. And as you can see, the bottom, of course, way too hot. So what I'm going to do is I will go over here to the right, because I like running 100%. People ask me, why do you always run 100%? Because it's faster. No other reason. It's faster. That's it. But if you go over here, 100%, I am getting a really nice, shiny finish at 300 millimeters a second. And so that's where I'm going to go. That's where I'm going to go for these cards. So I'm going to lay this over here in my pile of testing materials, and I'll get a card out and we'll burn one right quick. All right, let me throw something in. Let me throw something in the workspace here. With this machine, like I said, you have to you have to run current position because it does not have limit switches. I mean, I guess you know, if you were confident enough, maybe you could run absolute coordinates, but I'm not doing that. And I'm moving this to the page center just to be on the safe side. And that card, let me see what size that thing is. I don't remember what they are. Make sure I'm not too tall here. So if you're new to lasering and you don't have a set of these, get you a set. It don't have to be a really expensive set. I did buy me a little nicer set than what I had, but these still aren't expensive. They're like 15 bucks. So I need my image to be no bigger than about 50 millimeters. So I'm gonna click on my little shape over here, and I'm gonna go up here to the top, and I'm gonna make it 50 tall. And that should get us where we need to be. Let me just frame that up and see if it fits. All right. I'm gonna size it down just a little bit more. I'm gonna go to 45. All right. So now, with the results of my test here, I decided that I wanted to go with 300 millimeters a second. And since this is anodized, let's see, what did I run? I run 0.08 on this test right here. So that's going to be about 300 millimeters a sec, 300 lines per inch. So that's what we're going to run right there. And then we wait to see if it turns out as shiny as that right there. Let me get my screen back up where I can see y'all's comments. I wish y'all could talk to me. That'd be cool. Pat, if it was a CO2 machine, and Steve can back me up on this, and I am not saying that running a diode at 100% doesn't maybe wear it out a little faster than running it at 90. But most of these diodes are rated for like 100,000 hours, 10,000 hours. I will replace the mechanical parts of this machine will wear out far before that diode does, in my opinion. Anytime you increase heat on the LED, I guess technically yes, it would wear it out. But I've got an X-Tool D1 10 watt that I've had for 2 years, and I have run the stew out of that thing, and I haven't had any failures. So my thing is this: if I can make, I want to make the most amount of money with my machine that I can in the shortest period of time. And if I do that, then I can afford to replace it, or either it'll, you know, like I said, it'll have a mechanical failure before then. Dennis, what kind of issue you having with a P20? I don't know if I'd be laser engraving my roof. I guess you could. Chris, I've got a couple of very low level videos that I did on the X-Tool S1. If you're running it with XCS, just concentrate on XCS videos, because XCS is pretty much the same regardless of what the machine is. It's going to work the same way. Jody, it is definitely better since surgery. I'm almost 3 weeks out from surgery. Still got some leg pain, but we're working through that, so should be good. Set up a Discord server. Yeah, that, I guess I could. That might get a little hectic though sometimes. that might get hectic. Jen, I haven't tried X-Tools air purifier. I know Steve has the one that goes with the F1. I'm assuming the one that goes with the S1 is going to be a different one. Uh, there's a lot of them out there on the market, and I'm going to be honest with you. I've used the Comgrow. It's always better to vent if you can, in my opinion. If you're not able, if venting it outside is not something you can do, then that's kind of the thing that you need to go. You do have the big one, Steve, but they work to an extent. From what Steve I've seen of Steve's videos, they work to an extent. Now you may still be able to smell the smoke, or you may have a hint of it, because quite frankly, if you open the machine, the inside of the machine is going to smell like smoke, whether the smoke's coming out or not. But I don't know of any other companies really. I mean, there's a lot of them out there, but I can't speak to any of the larger ones. Like I said, I've used the Comgrow one, and I have kind of mixed feelings on it. I wouldn't call it a purifier. A dampener, maybe, because it does take some of it out. A cleaner, yes, but I don't know that the air coming out of it's pure. So I think that's probably the wrong word to use to describe those things. But they do help with the smoke. The one Steve's got, the way his video and how he explained it, and Steve, feel free to drop a link in there if you got one to your video. It done a pretty good job from what he told me. He used it indoors. But just know that with that, smoke extractor or purifier or filter or whatever, that's going to be another added expense that you're going to have to account for, because those filters are going to have to be replaced periodically. So, yeah, see, Jen, that's the thing with those filters. They kind of they don't get any cheaper. So if you could vent out a window or something, that would be my recommendation. And it doesn't have to be a permanent vent. If you'll go on to Amazon and look, there's a lot of 4-inch vents that are made to where you can raise a window. You have little plates, usually plastic, has a couple of wing nuts on it that you can adjust to the size of your window, and then sit it down on there and vent through that. And then when you get ready to put the machine up, you just raise the window, take the vent out, store it away, and close the window back. Not everybody's got a shop that they can just drill 4-inch holes in the wall. Hang on, I'll be right back. So there we go. Let me clean this. Might as well bring the alcohol over here. Yeah, luckily I live out in the county, out in the country. Other than my honeybees, because my honeybees are right outside this wall back that way, and when the wind blows just right, it does blow the exhaust from my fumes from my machines over toward the honeybees. So sometimes they get a little confused thinking the woods are on fire when they're not. But luckily I don't have to worry about, neighbors or other people or anything like that. Now, I was engraving my stool the other day and scared myself because I thought my shop had caught on fire. Band-Aid. But, guys, apparently my settings were correct, but I'm still going to have to cool it down a little bit. I may actually have to run this machine, either turn my LPI down just a fuzz, power down just a fuzz, or run a little faster. But I got a nice clean finish on that card. But if you can tell, it's still trying to overheat it a little bit. So that was 300 millimeters a second at 100%. So I could probably back it down to try to dissipate some of that heat. I could either take the LPI and turn it down, which on anodized, I like running the LPI a little bit high because it doesn't show the lines as bad. So I could probably back my power down just a little. Because what's happening is, with these long streaks in here, it's building up heat more so than it is these little small 3 millimeter streaks. and so that's what's causing it to show that heat a little more in the card that I did with the logo versus the test engrave, because you're getting a little bit more heat buildup because that laser is staying on all the way across there, and of course aluminum is highly conductive of heat. So I think I'm going to run another one. I think I'm going to move it up to 350. Let me double check and make sure this machine's not limited. I'll show you how to do that right quick. So I haven't checked this yet. Steve will tell you this is one of the things that we tend to check to make sure with these machines is what is the top speed maxed out to be. So this one's set at 25,000 millimeters per minute. And see, there's where my problem's going to be. 18,000 millimeters per minute there. So, see, I think I just run it. I just run the heat down just a little bit. Turn my heat down just a little. I don't want to try to go too much faster. Don't want to go too much faster. Because that 18,000 is going to be exactly 300 millimeters per second is where it's limited at. I really don't want to go changing the limiters on it, so I'm just going to I'm going to back it down to like 80% and try that again. So, changing my power. Oh, wait a minute. Let me just do this. Let me do this. 90% power. I'm going to change the LPI to 250, which will help it cool a little bit. Let's try that. See how that works. Yeah, there's Steve with some interesting and some useful input on those filters there. Yeah, see, Jen, that's a lot of people have that problem, and I really wish I could vouch for one of these things to completely get rid of it, but I haven't used enough of them to be able to say for sure. Yeah, Jack, I agree. They don't bend as easy, but they cost more. And I hand out, when I go to an event, I go through stacks of these things. So, I usually just use the thin ones. I set the speeds to where I go fast enough to get the mark I want without warping them. Once I get it dialed in for each machine, I know what the speeds are for my other machines. This is just one that I'm testing, so I'm just trying to get a good clean image just to show folks. Yeah, yeah. Allison, the X-Tool is going to recommend probably a lot more frequent cleaning and changing of the filters. You can probably, like, especially the outer filters, you could probably like blow those out with some compressed air, or clean them with a vacuum cleaner or something like that, maybe to help. But you're still gonna have the whole problem of those things are going to get dirty. They're going to get to where they're ineffective eventually. But yeah, it's a good burn though. Nice image. This one will probably be better though. I turned the LPI down a little bit. LPI on these is good because it makes the image look a lot cleaner, but it also causes it to generate a lot more heat in the card. So I'm gonna I back the power down 10%. And I back the LPI down a little bit. We'll see how that does. I think it worked, guys. Doesn't look like that one's warping any. Looking for an enclosure to build for the L2. Well, Jody, if you're a member of our Laser Engraver community page, I've got the build over here. This enclosure where I've got my algo. I've got that design as well as my big one, which you probably won't want the big one unless you've got an extension on that thing. Uh, and this enclosure here will fit an L2 because I've had one in there before. I believe this one. No, wait a minute. This one might not be on the side. I think the one that's on the side is my old one. I don't think I ever blueprinted this one. I may lie to you. It may not be this one. I think I just recently built this one. It's on our Facebook page. Let me go grab a link right quick. There's a lot of like-minded folks in there. A lot of the guys that are in the lives, especially on Sunday night lives. And guys, if you haven't been there, come check out the Sunday night live too with myself and Steve up there. We basically, me and him do basically what I'm doing now. we talk with you guys, answer questions, try to share a little bit of information, and where to find things, how to come up with different designs, blah blah, whatever. Let me go check this. Wow, pretty good job. See, that's what it looks like straight off the laser. Still got a little bit of that gray. Rubbing alcohol. Dollar General, cheap as it comes, rubbing alcohol. Dollar General, Magic Eraser, knockoff. Keep losing my stuff. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This machine, the LPI, I might could skip out on the LPI and just run 127. Get them done a little faster. It's doing a good job. Look at that right there. Look how crisp. Even the fine details, I'm not seeing any lines. Yeah, it's a pretty good setting for that, and it stayed flat. So yeah, that's gonna be some pretty good settings right there for that. And for the anodized aluminum card, that was 300 millimeters per second, 90% power, with 250 on the LPI. So good trade-off of all the three. That's going to be about as fast as I'm going to want to run it. I could go ahead and knock the limiter off of that machine and make it go a little faster, but not going to fool with that right now. I don't want to go too much faster. But yeah, good result right there, guys. Good result. So there we are. I can put my cleaning supplies away too. Try it on orange. This machine actually has what they call a smoke extractor built into the machine, and you can hear the fan. It's got a fan, it's got a filter, and they send you a bunch of these little filters with it. And I've been running that one filter all day, so I'm kind of curious to see how much smoke it's actually pulling through. I've done a whole bunch of testing and everything, so when I get through with my testing, I'm going to pull that filter out and see how much crud it has collected. But they sent me like 5 or 6 in the box with this thing, but I don't know where in the world you'd find more unless you go to their website. But anyway, what? Got a couple people wanting to join the community page. Scott Thomas, I'm trying to make sure you're a real person, so if you do join the page, please answer the questions so that we'll know you're real. I'm trying to compare. Requested about a minute ago, Scott Thomas. Yeah. All right, I'm going to take my chances and say that Scott's a real person. So if he's not, we'll get him out of there. But I'm thinking it's one of you guys. Kevin is doing a lot better. The real problem has been my leg, but the leg's doing a lot better now. Now the back was what was causing the leg to hurt, but it's doing a lot better. I'm just going to try to keep from hurting it anymore so that it stays this way. I'm still having to, not tote anything heavy. It's a little embarrassing when you have to have your wife carry machines out to your shop for you. But yes, guys, Brandy had to come out. I had them all piled in the living room or in the kitchen, and so Brandy had to carry the Elegoo as well as the Atom Stack out here for me today, which is, like I said, it's a little embarrassing having your wife carry things for you, but my paperwork says that I'm not supposed to be picking up anything heavy for now, so I'm trying to go by the rules. Yeah, I don't want any more issues. Ooh, that anodine is starting to get a little funky. I might have to give it a break. Jody. Oh, I guess that was Jody. Okay. If I say Jody, I'm assuming you found the page. I'm guessing that was the same Jody that I just approved a minute ago. Somebody commented on my post here. Let me see if it's. Make sure this isn't another one of my mistaken nights. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I figured it was. A lot of times I can spot those robots pretty well because they don't have a whole lot of friends and they're in like 450 different groups. But occasionally somebody will get in there and surprise you. Yes, Steve. If I have one that weighs 130 pounds show up right now, currently, I would have to go get the tractor because I don't know. Brandy and Abby together could probably handle it, but I know my doctor would not approve me moving a 130-pound box right now. Pretty sure that would get me looked at funny when I went to the doctor. So, okay, I'm gonna give this anodized a break without fume extraction. It's starting to get a little loud in here. All right. Let's see how I did on the yellow ones. I just bent that open in the darn alcohol. See, that's when you don't know your own strength. I went to open the alcohol and bent the card. So this one was not bent by the machine. It was bent by my thumb as I was trying to open the alcohol. But yeah, still done a good job, even on the light color. I still got a nice finish. Like I said, I bent it, but yeah, still got a nice little nice finish there with those settings. So with the yellows and stuff like that, you got to be careful because it does not burn as well as black. That's why I've got black and then I've got the gold kind of in my little test drawer together. But if it works on this color, it'll work on most any other color. So cool. All right, that's enough of that. Let me put my stuff up, guys. OCD. I can't leave it sitting out. Well, I appreciate that there, Jody. I try to do decent on my videos. Like I said, I'm not your traditional YouTuber, uh, but I try to at least bring something, put something of value in the videos. If I can't bring you any information, I try to at least be entertaining or give you somebody to make fun of or something. I don't know, mess up the video, put that it's a Friday night video when it's actually Saturday night. I'm always up to something, and I did that just to see if y'all are paying attention. Not really. I messed up. Whew. But tomorrow, I have got a busy day. So hopefully I'll get this video on the Elegoo out and can share with you guys. We roll back 1 hour, not a whole. Yeah. Yeah, Steve. Yeah. I lost track of my days. You do that when you don't go to work. Because like Fridays, just like Mondays, just like Saturday right now. So lose track of your days. I didn't leave the house for about 4 weeks. I only left the house to go to the doctor. So that was oof. I felt like a hermit. But yeah, I've got the Atom stack in the queue. I've got this little blue com marker that I got to do. I've got the We Create. I'm gonna try to do another video with it. Man, I got so many videos to do. It ain't even funny. And then Steve's not much better over there. Steve's a little backed up. I think Steve's gonna be busy until Christmas, kind of like me. I had a guy call me today, want me to do a bunch of tumblers, and I just, between doing stuff like this, trying to get content caught up and stuff that I've got promised out already, I don't have a way. Love steel random insulation and joist cavity storage. Yeah, well, up until this summer, there was no insulation behind that. Those boards, I actually cut those on my sawmill, and it's all the way around the building. And the explanation for that piece of tin, in case you weren't watching the shack before, is I had a wood heater that was in there before I put all the boards up on the walls. And so I was a little afraid that if I put wood behind my heater, that it might catch fire. And so I had just left a piece of tin up there. Well, since I've insulated it, got the air conditioner / heater heat pump put in, I haven't been able to run my sawmill to go cut me another couple of boards to go right there, because those are anywhere from 14 to 16 inch wide planks. So I've got to get my back better. Then I got to find a log big enough to make me some 14-inch pine boards to go there. Those are 3/4 inch thick, about 16 inches wide, and most of those trees were taken out. I think most of these right here were taken out by a land clearing. They were clearing the land and we're just going to burn them. And I went and picked up like several trailer loads. Well, Pete, I've actually been doing a lot of what I do at work now has to do with computers and things that I can do remotely. So I've actually been doing stuff that like they didn't have anybody that could kind of fill in. So they call me, I remote into my computer or just log into the web portal or whatever I need to do to do whatever it is they want done. Now there's some other stuff that I probably should have been there for, but they've been really good about, covering for me and letting me take my time off and just concentrate on getting better. So that's good. Worked out real well for me so far. But I'm about ready to go back. Get a little. When you're used to being at work every day, and then all of a sudden you're not, and you're not retired, and you're not able to do stuff. It's a different world. So. What's your? You got your Atom Stack A5 Pro Plus? Is it going to be a 5-watt or is that? Because I know they do some weird things where they have like a A10 that's a 20-watt, I think, don't they? Atom Stack makes some pretty good machines. The A30, I've had an A30 and I've had a P9M40, which was a 3-legged machine, and now I've got the Atom Stack L24, I think it is. It's over there still in the box. I opened it and peeked in there and saw that it had pink on it. And then I sent Steve a message and told him that they delivered me the wrong machine. I got his because it's got pink on it. But I think it's supposed to be red. It may be red. It may be the lighting in here makes it look pink. Doctor gave you some pills for that. What you got going on, Steve? Uh, well, Kevin, I'm hoping to retire shortly, and this is going to be what I do. But I got to get a bigger building. Oh, you backed up? Oh, not that kind of backed up, Steve. I was talking about you got work backed up like I do. Yeah, I don't do a whole lot of coding. Uh, like I said, mine is a lot of technical stuff. I maintain a lot of our web portals and a lot of our access to online things, and a lot of that I can still do from home. So 25 years before retirement. Oh my goodness, bless your heart, Kevin. You must either you're really young or you got into your career kind of late there. I'm not sure which. I have technically about 4 years left, but I've got some time that I'm trying to reacquire that I didn't get to count from a previous employer. Once I get that, I'll be down to about a year and 10 months from right now. So, a 5 watt, Paul, if you'll, like I said, a 5 watt will do basically the same thing that any of these other machines are going to do. Cutting, you're not going to want to do a lot of cutting on thicker materials. Stick with 3 millimeter acrylic, 3 millimeter wood. Whew. Whew. Hold on. Whew. Ah. Anodized aluminum stinks, but a 5 watt, you can do a lot with a 5 watt. Like I said, if as far as cutting goes, stay away from the thicker materials because it is going to take you longer, and you're going to do a lot more passes. But you could would be surprised what you can actually do with a 5 watt machine. That's what I use a lot of times to teach people how to use the machine as a 5 watt because it's just they're economically affordable. You can do the same things with them, and you don't have as much like you kind of limits your materials, but it takes a little bit longer. But you can still do the same things. Anodizations. They got my nose running and everything else, or either I'm catching a cold. Not sure which. Oh, if you're 26, Kevin, you're definitely young. I got a daughter that's not much younger than you. So, Drone Ranger. Oh, well, I appreciate that, Drone Ranger. There. Yeah, I try not to overcomplicate it, and I try to stick with the things that you need to know to be able to, get started making things. Now, I do have some videos that go a little more in depth, but I try, like I said, I try to go with the KISS approach, which is keep it simple, stupid, and that way I don't overcomplicate things or get off too far off in the weeds. But yeah, Kevin, 26 is young, guy. You got a lot of living to do. A lot of living to do. 5 watt dog, no air. Yeah, Jack, 5 watts without air assist. You definitely painted mirrors is one thing I would say. With a 5 watt, mirrors would be something that I would definitely lean into because mirrors don't take a whole lot of power to engrave, and with a 5 watt, you can do some really detailed work. So you might want to try to get yourself some mirrors and practice doing that. Now, do it on the back side, the side that's coated. But 5 watt machines do a really nice job on that. Mirrors, cork doesn't take a whole lot of power. You can cruise with cork. Now, do ventilate if you're doing cork because the stuff stinks. So that's one piece of advice. I did some cork on this guy right here the other day, and ugh, it had the whole shop stinking. Even trying to use a little Comgrow air extractor. Yeah, canvas is cool, especially like painted canvas with a 5 watt. you could do some really good job with that. Like I said, mirrors would be another, and then cork. You can find some things to do that don't take that long. Wood, you can still do a good job on wood. It's just going to take a little bit longer. And if you're in an apartment and you don't have an outdoor space, you know, you're gonna have to figure out whether you can like go out back or ventilate out a window or something like that. But yeah, 5 watt machines. There's nothing wrong with the 5 watt machines. I don't use them as much anymore, just because I've got access to others. But they still will do a good job. I think Steve did a review the other day. I don't know if it was a 5 or a 10 watt. But you know, we try to stay down to earth and not get too overpriced. Like with the X tool, I mean, a lot of folks aren't going to want to spend that kind of money on an X tool unless they're making money. Uh, with the machines, it is nice if you can get one, but you know, just starting out, especially, you're gonna want to see what it is what your niche is and where you're going to be able to make a little bit of money, and then you know maybe go from there later on. I have not done T-shirts. You saw as far as laser engraving T-shirts. I have laser engraved denim before, but it, it damages the material pretty bad. Pretty bad. Yeah, Jeff. Yeah, Jeff. I messed up earlier. I lost track of my days, man. I've been off work for so long, I forgot what today was. Which means tomorrow is Sunday. Which means tomorrow night we'll have our Sunday night live. Me and Steve can get in here and talk to you guys. I was out here messing with this thing, and I had got through with doing the wood and was doing some steel and acrylic and stuff. And so I just thought I'd throw up a little live for a few minutes, maybe answer a few questions, and get to meet some folks and see how it goes. Yeah, yeah. Anytime you're doing leather, I mean not leather. Anytime you're doing denim, any type of fabric or canvas, make sure you've got yourself a Windex bottle full of water sitting around because you may need it. Yes, Steve, that's tomorrow. Today's Saturday. It's not Friday. It's the 5th, which is tomorrow. Yeah, I just need to start paying more attention to my calendar, I guess. If I click on it down here, it shows me what day of the week it is. But I see Jack did some, I seen in the group, in the laser engraving community, Jack's been doing some names, painting them gold. That's pretty cool. But yeah, if you haven't joined our laser engraver community page, guys, that's where a lot of the guys that are in here now. We just it's just our place to share and show each other what we do and kind of you can get inspired. Norbert just posted some photos that he did of some license plates which are awesome. He did like a multi-layered cut on some wood. Just if you have a question, there's a lot of guys in there that can help you and all that kind of stuff. So is that clear coated Luan? I may have missed. I'm talking. I'm looking at. Let's see. Is that? Looks like it's gold. Jack. It looks a lot. It looks really gold. MDF bad for diode lasers. MDF itself is not. I wouldn't say that it was bad for diode lasers. Now I will say, my rule of thumb, and you can do as you want, guys. Y'all all grown, and it's your machine. I run air assist anytime my laser's doing anything, whether it's engraving or whether it's cutting. I'm running air assist. At least some air assist. And the reason that I do is to keep positive pressure, to keep some air flowing past that lens so that as you're engraving and those fumes and those particulates are working their way up, it keeps them pushed away from that lens. The thing that a lot of people say that, certain MDF is bad for lasers has a lot to do with the glue that is used in MDF, because MDF basically is sawdust mixed with some type of glue and is smashed into a flat piece of wood. So there's a lot more glue. There's a lot more things that could either be acidic that could affect the lens. There's a lot more things that could just create debris to get up in the lens, and that's where a lot of people say that MDF is bad for diode lasers. It technically would be bad for any laser that has a lens because of the glues and stuff that are in it. But to minimize the effects of any material, because just like pine has a lot of sap in it, and so, well, I don't advocate breathing any materials. So Steve pointed out that some MDF has formaldehyde in it, which, just go on board record as saying I don't advocate breathing the fumes off of anything you're laser engraving. Even anodized aluminum, it's probably not good for you. But but I think that's where a lot of folks say that it messes up the lasers, just like with any plywood. But you got pine. Pine. One of the nastiest things that I engrave is pine wood, and because pine, when you cut a pine tree and you dry it, all that sap, that sticky sap that's on a pine tree, basically hardens and dries out inside that wood. Well, when they cut it at the sawmill and they dry it and all that sap's still there. When the laser goes through that sap, it heats it up to basically and vaporizes it, makes it into a vapor, and then as soon as it hits something cool inside that machine, it's going to turn into this little glaze that you see on the cone of your laser. And so I would say probably from what I've seen in cleaning my machines after jobs, the worst thing is pine wood, and that's what I make a majority of my money that I make here at the shack. I make it off pine wood, so I always run air assist, whether I'm engraving or whether I'm cutting or whatever. Even if I'm doing mirrors, I still run air assist. I don't know. Cedar doesn't really seem to be worse on my machines. Cedar's pretty bad. Cedar, spruce, any of those, any sappy wood is pretty bad. But I don't know. This pine's pretty, yellow pine's pretty bad. Now, if you're getting spruce pine, that what they call white pine, it's not as bad as yellow pine. But you get yellow pine, it's got sap. This is my test board for my yellow pine that I'm running right now on a lot of my projects. And as you can see, I run air assist, so you can see there's a lot of that residue in there. Now I do kind of, between running air assist and the focus and everything, I do try to get that black finish instead of the others. But you're gonna have some grain carryover. But this stuff's pretty sappy. It's pretty bad. Yeah, it's that's kind of like this machine that's sitting over here. Had enough. This machine doesn't have limit switches either. You run everything out of current position. Just put the laser dot in the center of the area that you want to engrave. Frame it. Make sure it frames where you want, and send it. That's a lot of the budget machines are that way, and it's not a bad thing. It does limit you from being able to run a lot of stuff, like it makes using jigs a little harder and stuff like that, unless you run it from current position and you manually push it up into a corner, and then you set it to, let me show you here. Oh. So if you had this design on there, if you had your origin set to the top left corner and you push your machine manually up into that corner, then you could, theoretically, you could make whatever you wanted to out here and run it from current position and not have a problem. So if you're using a jig or whatever, but you're just going to have to make sure that you set that, your origin correctly, so that when you put this in the workspace, the machine knows that, this is where we started from. This is technically the home position. But most of the time, I just leave mine centered up for current position, and I work out of the middle of the workspace, because it's just a lot safer since you don't have limit switches. It keeps you off these rails, keeps you from hitting anything. But that's just my approach. There's, like I said, there's 15 different ways of doing it, but that's my approach. Well, most of the cedar that I use here, I cut here locally, and it's not terrible. But anyway, guys, I'm about to have to go into the house to get me some supper. I got glasses head. I get that line right in the middle of my head. You see that line? That's where I keep these on my head, and I get that get that line up there. But I'm about to go in the house and get some supper. My wife has made me something to eat, and then I'm going to try to find something to watch on television for a little while, I reckon, until tomorrow. And I'll be back out here. And guys, if you're not checking us out on Sunday nights, please do. Me and Steve are trying to build Sunday nights. We want it to be bigger and better every week. That's the whole idea of it is to have a bigger community, more people, more information, because a lot of you guys bring just as much information to the table as me and Steve do. So it's good to have you guys along to help us out answering those questions and stuff. But if you haven't already, go check out the laser engraving community page. And I think I still have that. Yes, I still have that link. There's a link to it. Go check that out. And like I said, don't forget, 7 o'clock p.m. Sunday nights, which is tomorrow. Not today, not 2 days from now, tomorrow. Sunday night, 7 p.m. Central. And we'll have Steve in there, and hopefully we can come up with some more content and some more things to talk about. So, tell a friend, bring a friend with you. We had, I think the other night, I think the most we had in there was like 116 people. I would really love to see that thing hit like 150, maybe. I mean, let's just go for 200 this week. So, that would be really awesome. Yeah, and everybody remember, you fall back, which most of my clocks work off of a phone, so they will automatically. But hey, you call in sick, Steve. We don't give sick time over here at the shack now. I don't know how y'all do it at the Ventari's workshop, but we don't get sick time at the shack. You just come to work sick. But Vectric, I've got V-Carve for my CNC over there. But anyway, tomorrow night, guys, if you got any questions, write them down on a piece of paper. Save yourself a Post-it note, and come check us out tomorrow night, 7 o'clock p.m. Myself and Steve down there in the comments will be here. So y'all have a good night, and I appreciate you stopping by. Later.